In the previous videos, I mentioned multiple times that 2023 will be a memorable year for horror fans due to the incredible number of horror titles that are expected to be released in it. From long-awaited sequels by big studios to captivating indie games by independent developers, this year definitely has it all. And there's something for all tastes. And obviously things are starting to get heated, because apparently developers are not messing around with the games that are coming out this spring. It doesn't matter if you like horror that's filled with psychological elements, survival, or even action, the developers have got you covered. That's why today I decided to showcase 8 horror games with different themes, features, and mechanics. But the common thing about them is that they all captured my interest, and they're all going to be released this spring, specifically in April and May. I can't predict the future and guarantee to you that they'll be perfect when they release, but I'm going to explain them to you and let you decide by yourselves. Ritual is a psychological horror game in which the story takes place in a chilling house. The mission is to close the portal to another dimension that was opened by the protagonist's father before his death. To achieve this goal, you have to explore every chamber and corner of the abode to find the necessary objects. The game's focus is on exploration, which gradually builds up tension, providing a more immersive experience. According to the developer, the supernatural beings in the game may not cause physical harm, but they can affect the psychology of the player. He also mentioned that this game is not recommended for individuals who are afraid of the dark, have heart problems, or fear being alone. Even though the creator is probably trying to trigger us with this statement, I feel that the visuals look interesting, and the ambience is eerie enough to make us consider keeping this title on our radar until it releases on May 2nd. This enigmatic title was featured in one of my previous videos about upcoming games in 2023, and considering that its release is getting closer, I thought that it would be a good idea to remind you about it. Saidi is a horror game that draws inspiration from the real-life experiences of people living in Yakutia, which is an autonomous republic inside Russia, renowned for its rich culture and folklore. It is an interesting experience that comprises various tales about encounters with supernatural beings like ghosts and spirits. These spooky stories are unique to Yakutia and have a strong connection to the region's folk traditions. And as I said last time, the main factor that led my interest towards this game was the term real life. Because we all know that any horror fan loves that term more than anything else, especially since it triggers our curiosity in a matter of seconds. I also read that the Yakutian people are known for their deep historic engagement with different kinds of paranormal occurrences that cannot be explained. So personally, I'm very optimistic about this game, and the good news is that we're only a few weeks away from diving into its world on May 2nd.
Wake up. It's time to move.
What was that? I thought I heard a voice.
You did, David. It was me. I'm telling you to go to the other end of the house.
Panic is a horror game that focuses on mental health disorders. The main objective is to confront the sudden appearances of paranormal activities and monsters within David's mind, who is the main character in the story. The game is expected to offer an immersive experience and a chilling atmosphere that will keep players on the edge of their seats, because your task is to help David navigate through his psyche and conquer his inner demons. It is also mentioned that the developers drew inspiration from real-life mental disorders to create a realistic experience of the horror and agony experienced by people with mental illness. The game aims to provide players with insights into the struggles and challenges faced by individuals dealing with mental health problems, enabling them to gain a better understanding of what they've been through. The setting is a combination of 3 ominous locations, specifically a dark forest, a haunted house, and an abandoned alien base. As the protagonist, you must confront your own mental health issues while navigating through a perilous world. The game's mechanics are crafted to test the player's abilities and prompt them to make calculated decisions. You can engage in combat to defeat monsters and foes, and you must also explore their surroundings to progress through the game. I don't know about you, but I'm already hyped up and waiting for this title to get released on April 21st.
You're special, David. You have a unique power, and I'm here to show you how to use it.
What power? What are you talking about?
You have the power to control your own destiny. You can make your own choices, and I'm here to help you make the right ones.
The chains are broken. I shall be freed of darkness. As the chains are broken, judgment shall fall upon sinners.
You broke your road to the cult!
Shame Legacy is a game that falls under the survival horror genre, with gameplay taking place in a deserted village belonging to a cult in the 19th century. Players must use escape tactics and stealth to survive, while solving puzzles to uncover their connection to the village. The game begins with the protagonist waking up in a location similar to an anger management convention from the past, where he realizes he is being hunted by the villagers due to his family's legacy. The inheritance turns out to be something unexpected, and the player must move quietly to avoid detection while using mental ability to solve puzzles. The cane serves as both a defense weapon and a tool to maximize assets in an eco-friendly approach. If you're able to act quickly and stay calm, being discovered is not the worst outcome. There's also a doctor in the village who may criticize your physical condition and ability to handle stress. But don't worry, he will help you get in shape. In other words, if you're feeling overwhelmed, there are always ways to alleviate the pressure. To keep it short, this game is definitely among the most interesting ones on today's list because it's so rich with features and has an engaging world with a unique theme. So, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it until the May 30th release date.
Oh shit!
None of this is real. It's just a bad dream. There's nothing to be scared of.
There's not much information or footage about this title. We only have this short teaser, but it was literally enough to attract my attention. The Gap is a horror game where players find themselves in an abandoned house on a secluded street. The protagonist's daughter disappeared years ago, and while everyone else gave up hope, the father still believes that she's alive and needs his help. One day, he received a letter that led him to the empty house, and now the player must uncover the place's secrets. It's unclear why he is drawn to the house, but it's obvious someone is living there, and by someone, I don't mean anyone peaceful at all. The developer also advises players that they may need to navigate through darkness to complete certain tasks, which means that in some cases, you need to confront your fears and go straight toward the corner that's scaring you instead of avoiding it. The short footage looks very enticing, and gladly, we can see the full thing when the game gets released after a few days on April 15th.
me feel. Free me festering soul and let me feel.
Here, let me help.
Prepare yourself for an intense Lovecraftian adventure that has been revamped with contemporary graphics and gameplay. And get ready to assume the role of Sherlock Holmes and delve into the horrifying Cthulhu mythos as you investigate a string of perplexing disappearances across Europe and the United States. And by the way, guys, I don't want anyone to tell me that the pronunciation of Cthulhu is weird, because if you search about it, you'll literally find out that everyone is pronouncing it wrong. Some people say Cthulhu, others Cthulhu, and there's even Cthulhu. In other words, none of us is pronouncing it the way H.P. Lovecraft intended it to be pronounced. Anyway, back to the game. The Awakened is an intersection between Lovecraft and Holmes that confronts you with a notorious creature. You will probe into the sequence of mysterious disappearances that seem to be associated with a sinister cult that worships an ancient deity. You must put a stop to their plans or face unimaginable consequences. And for the first time in his life, Holmes is genuinely frightened as he confronts a being from another world that defies all kinds of sanity. This revelation is as enlightening as it is devastating, and the pursuit of the truth drives Holmes to the brink of insanity, making it the only tale that Watson will never publish. You will explore the legend created by H.P. Lovecraft and confront unimaginable eldritch terrors that are beyond human comprehension. As you search for answers to inexplicable questions, you must also battle against the rise of madness. You need to follow clues that will take you through famous locations like Baker Street in London, a creepy psychiatric ward in Switzerland, and the treacherous Louisiana swamplands. The Awakened is basically a reimagining of the 2008 game, which has been completely rebuilt in the Unreal Engine with modern graphics and new gameplay mechanics, including a unique insanity system, an expanded storyline, and numerous side quests.
Small, inconsequential, a shadow in the dark. You asked that I intervene if I saw you cracking. This is me intervening.
This game is definitely the most anticipated title of April 2023, and the only reason it's not number one on the list is because the next two games are even better and they're going to be released in May.
We must end this.
To trigger it. Get them, and you can make it out. Shit. That thing, it's coming for me. No! Dear God, help me! No, 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 no!
Amnesia The Bunker is a horror game created by the same developers behind Soma and Amnesia. In this first-person game, you find yourself alone in a desolate bunker from World War I, with only one bullet left in your gun. Your job is to confront the terrifying creatures lurking in the darkness while keeping the lights on and finding a way out alive. As Henry Clement, who is a French soldier, you have a revolver gun, a loud flashlight, and other limited resources to collect and use. The game offers multiple ways to survive, and each playthrough is unique due to randomization and unpredictable behavior. You must adapt your playstyle to avoid being hunted by ever-present threats that react to your every sound and move. The game's response changes based on your decisions, and there are consequences for every action you take. In a partially open world, you must find your own solutions to challenges. To escape, you'll need to explore and experiment, uncovering the fate of the other soldiers and officers and discovering the frightening reality of the bunker. Survival depends on unraveling its mysteries and becoming familiar with its dark corners. The game features creatures that respond dynamically to the player's actions, creating a constant sense of tension. Time is also limited, so players must interact deliberately and use physics to their advantage, while scavenging for resources and crafting tools. Especially since the non-linear open world offers multiple paths to problem solving. The fact that the release of this game is only a few weeks away makes me excited already, because this franchise has never disappointed us. So May 16th will definitely be a special day for all horror fans out there. I tried hard to save the best for last, and I don't think it gets better than the Outlast Trials for this list. The popular franchise is back with a fourth installment after years of anticipation. The developers of Red Barrels are offering an invitation to the players to experience an incredibly horrifying game called the Outlast Trials. But this time you'll be able to do that with your friends. This survival horror game gives players the option to play alone or with up to 4 other players in cooperative multiplayer mode. The setting of the story is during the Cold War era, and in it, individuals are forced to become test subjects for the Murkoff Corporation's advanced brainwashing and mind control techniques. The world here is characterized by fear, violence, and mistrust, and the characters are faced with moral dilemmas, physical challenges, and mental breakdowns. All of this is done in the name of progress, science, and financial gain. The game requires the players to complete a set of objectives while avoiding terrifying enemies. It includes 4 different character classes, each with its own unique skill tree and special ability. These abilities allow players to perform actions such as seeing through walls, healing others, placing mines, and throwing devices that temporarily stun enemies. Players are also equipped with a set of night vision goggles to help them move through poorly lit areas. These goggles require frequent recharging using a limited battery supply. Throughout the game, you can collect a range of helpful items, including lockpicks, healing items, and antipsychotic drugs, but you are only able to carry a maximum of 3 items at any given time. But be careful, your options for combat are limited, so you were advised to use stealth tactics to advance.
You learn discipline. Carrots and sticks. Rewards and punishments. A disciplined child is...
So you better buckle up and get your friends ready for May 18, because we'll obviously be diving into a journey that's full of fun and horror at the same time. And I think this game will definitely be among the most memorable releases of the year. I'm gonna stop here. These were pretty much the most interesting horror games coming out in April and May. And I think I gave you a good idea about their stories and gameplay, so you can decide if they're worth your money or not. If you think that I missed a good title, then please don't forget to mention it in the comments so we can all benefit from discovering a hidden interesting game. Until the next video, stay safe and be ready for what's coming.